Boomer Sooner.
Runs it himself, right up the middle, has a whole 45-40. Watch out, he's in the clear. 30, tricked up at the 25-yard line, or he would have gone the whole way. Deep shot fluttering around the 15-yard line. It's caught, wrapped up, stopped. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Sooner magic still works in the SEC.
Welcome to the Air Comfort Solutions OU Huddle, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by the Trails Golf Club, where members become family. Now, the Air Comfort Solutions OU Huddle.
Yes. Welcome to Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. It is time for the Huddle after a disappointing trip down to Dallas, Texas. You guys know Gabe Eichert, of course, from the Oklahoma Breakdown and the Sooner Radio Network, and that, of course, 2000 national champion Josh Norman. I'm Chris Plank, Greg Dyken on site. We got a full 2 hours of Sooner football talk for you. And, you know, there's going to be a point where we start looking ahead to South Carolina throughout this program today. Maybe we have it etched out for segment 3. We got to spend some segments looking back at what happened today.
Do we have to?
We don't have to.
I mean, softball's coming up. We got, basketball's practicing.
No, we got to talk about this one. Hey,
season's not over.
No,
we got a long way to go in this bad boy.
Absolutely.
And that's the important thing for those guys in the locker room to understand. There's going to be a lot of negative things said about them this week, particularly the offense, but you got to stick together. Mm-hmm. We're in a different day and age of college football, man. This isn't like what you and I went through.
Yeah.
A loss isn't the end of the world.
Absolutely.
So still have everything out in front of this team, which is exciting for me. I do not handle losing to Texas well.
I don't think anyone does.
I'll be the first to admit it, and I don't think any of us do, and we shouldn't. But it is very, very important for this team to not allow this performance to linger.
Right.
You gotta correct the mistakes, and I'm sure that's what they've worked on these last couple days. But you gotta flush it, learn from it, and then move on.
Yeah.
Because still everything in front of this team.
Yeah, and I think to me that's the part that I'm excited about, but then also.
But also, I hate losing to Texas.
Absolutely, I hate losing to Texas. I think for me, man, like what it did, it gave us an accurate picture of where we are and who we are, and that we're not where we want to be, right? You can tend to lose sight of that in a win. We pulled this game out last week and we win. We probably don't spend as much time. I know the coaches do. Sometimes players don't. But even us as fans, as supporters, we don't spend as much time really critiquing the small things, right? And so in a loss, you tend to dive a little deeper on those things and really point out those things. And so for me, it gives us an accurate picture of where we are, what we need to tighten up, what we need to do, and grow from there. Because the truth is, yeah, we got a long season ahead of us that if we run the gauntlet, we're good. Like we're in the playoffs. We're competing for the SEC championship, just like we planned. Yeah, it can either be a small setback or it can be a major setback, depending on how they approach it. And I think everybody has to take the blame for this one. And I know they are in that building. The coaches, players, the equipment managers, the training staff, everybody.
Don't blame the equipment managers.
Whit, I thought you were awesome on Saturday. I thought you were awesome on Saturday, Whit.
Whit, I love you, and yes, you're always great. I'm just saying.
Why you said that?
We all got to take responsibility is all that I'm saying.
You're right.
Because we all play a part. You know what I'm saying? And whether it's the coaches, whether it's the players, everybody plays a part, and they all have to look at themselves and figure out how they can be better going into South Carolina.
I think there's one great example in college football this season that I am looking to and saying, I hope this Oklahoma team bounces back the way that this team did.
I'm guessing you're not talking about Penn State, but go ahead.
Alabama?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Alabama. Now, I've never said I want us to be like Alabama before, but you look at what happened in the opener. Their loss took place early in the season.
Yep.
Right? And the way that team reacted, the way that they have come together, the way that team has played since that loss, that's the type of bounce back I expect from this OU team, because got a lot of good leadership in that locker room, got some really good players. We got some issues offensively we got to solve. There's no doubt about it. The defense has to continue to get better and improve and play at a high level. But when you look at the makeup of the guys in that locker room, coaches, players, support staff, I feel like those guys are made of the right stuff. Now, you are going to be judged by the way that you bounce back from this. And you're going to South Carolina this weekend, and I'm just telling you, man, that's a talented football team. They got athletes all over the field. Spent all day watching them. My family has left me. I'm just sitting watching football. They're
now,
on
we should be clear. They didn't leave.
No, they have gone on a vacation without me.
Oh, okay, vacation.
So I'm spending all my time watching South Carolina, and they got players. So you have to correct the mistakes. And like Josh mentioned, you have to have some very tough conversations. That's coaches to players, that's coaches to coaches, that's players to players.
Yep.
Because what we saw, especially in the second half at the Cotton Bowl, that's not good enough. It's not.
Yeah.
Not really much more to add. Thanks for joining us for the Huddle.
No.
Everyone enjoy your barbecue.
Moving on.
Well, and I just want to further elaborate on how you respond, because you mentioned Alabama. There's great examples of how to and how not to respond from last year, too. Remember, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois in week 2 of the season last year and still found themselves in the college football playoffs. Ohio State lost to Michigan the week before the Big Ten championship game, didn't go to the Big Ten championship game, and won the national championships. That's how you want to respond. Penn State was one throw across the middle of the field away from maybe playing for the national championship this year and led Oregon in overtime, and 3 weeks later their coach is fired. So there's, you look at Ohio State, Notre Dame, this year Alabama. That's how you want to respond in these situations.
And the margins are slim.
Yeah.
You can't turn it over 3 times.
No.
You can't give up a special teams touchdown. If you're there to make the play in the backfield on a pivotal third down, you got to make the play. And there are so many instances in the OU Texas game where I know those guys that were wearing white are going, oh my gosh, the play's there. We just got to make the play. And it's kind of hard to criticize the defense. I thought that they played.
Well, you said defense played well enough to win.
There's no doubt about it. I still thought we got a championship level performance from the defense. Texas offense isn't nearly as bad as people want to think. And I think you saw some moments from Arch Manning where you went, okay, guys got some talent, but it's a team game, man.
To your point, Plank, how do we bounce back? Number one, we got to keep our composure and not put so much on this loss. If we allow this to affect us moving forward and how we prepare, that's going to just cascade and just build it into something that we can't control. So one, we got to keep our composure. Number two is we have to keep doing what we're doing. You'll hear Coach say it, like, we're going to keep doing what we've always done, because what we've always done is the right thing to do, right? And so you don't, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like,
love that analogy.
Yeah, you go back and you look at the mistakes that you made, because that's what it was. It's like we have this great game plan in. We have these things that we've been coaching to do. We didn't execute those things the way that we should. And so that's what we have to do. Go back. It's not going back to the drawing board. It's just going back to what we do and honing in on what we do and refining what we do to the point that we are able to play without making these mistakes. Credit to Texas. They forced us to make some of these mistakes, but that's what we have to be able to do, is look at ourselves, say, hey, this is the plan. This is how we execute. Regardless of what they do, we have a plan for anything that they do. That's how we bounce back. And the effort has to be there. The energy has to be there. The execution has to be there.
I will say this much. This was the first time that I've stayed just beyond the game where the OU Alumni Association stays. Man, it's a party. It was the OU Texas weekend up until about coming out of the locker room of the second half was an incredible crimson-clad experience. You did a live show at Texas Live.
It was great.
And right after you
Sooner
were
Nation
done,
took that place over.
So the Oklahoma Breakdown with Teddy and Gabe, they did their show live, and then right after they were done, a Texas show had 30 minutes. And they got booed off the stage almost. There was Boomer and Sooner being
Shout out to Sooner Nation, man.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
We didn't know if anyone was going to show up to that, and we drove up, and there was a line out the door, and we were like, oh, thank goodness.
But the point,
those guys from inside Texas were nice, though. They were very nice. I met all those guys for the first time, and they were put in a very tough spot.
Yeah.
Tough spot.
My point is, Sooner Nation showed up. They showed out. And Gabe, just, to hammer home one point that I talked about a lot on the radio today and you and I talked about on the broadcast, there were some incredibly high vibes in the pregame. I don't know the OU Texas game. Maybe it was when Mateer started throwing it, you're like, ooh, okay.
Well, it looked great throwing it before the game.
That's right.
And then that's one of the things that stood out to me is John Mateer was not the guy that we had seen up to this point in the season, and it's completely understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about that when we come back. We'll talk about John Mateer and his fight and scratch and claw to get in there, and then the struggles that he had today. Our opening segment, as always, is brought to you by family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference that family makes. You're tuned in to the OU Huddle from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. John Mateer talk next. Stick around.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola. The Huddle is brought to you by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save up to 25% today. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties. Fan-fueled, athlete-focused.
All right, welcome back inside the Huddle, presented by Air Comfort Solutions. This segment, as always, is brought to you by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save up to 25% today with Josh Norman and Gabe Eichert. I'm Chris Plank, and Gabe, right before the break, we started to talk a little bit about John Mateer. Spent a lot of time last week debating, wondering if he was going to play, if he was going to go. He went, and obviously you could tell there was some rust there for him on Saturday.
For sure. And I think that was to be expected. No, he was very, very limited the 2 weeks leading up to this game. I do appreciate the toughness he displayed. Going out there and playing the way that he did, 17 days after having surgery on your throwing hand. Like, that sends a message to your football team. That being said, he can play a lot better than he played. I thought, clearly everyone's wondering, was it the thumb? I thought it was actually, I did not think the thumb was his biggest issue. I thought his eyes were what got him in trouble, whether it was staring down receivers and then going there with the ball. He didn't really look off those safeties from Texas much in the passing game. Now, I'm not trying to pretend that the pass protection was perfect. Like, the pocket was collapsing at times, but overall, I actually thought the pass protection was at a pretty solid level considering the competition. He just never really looked comfortable with working the proper route combinations that he was supposed to work with the coverage that they were giving us, it was interesting to watch. I think that he left some yards out there. I thought that some of Arbuckle's passing concepts were really, really good and attacked Texas and stressed them in the back end in some good ways. But in a lot of those, the ball didn't go where I believe it was designed to go. And then in some of the stuff, we've got wide receivers really close to each other in some of these route combinations, those route concepts. That needs to get a little more detailed. They need to iron some of those things out. But overall, I appreciate the toughness from Mateer. But if this team is going to accomplish what we think it can accomplish, he's got to play better.
Yeah. I think we saw what we've seen all year out of Mateer. I do believe that he is a extremely competitive guy. He's going to go out there. He's going to lay it on the line. He's tough as crap. But, you know, and I had said this earlier in the season, some of his throws were inerrant, not accurate. And I think that I agree with Gabe that I don't think it was a thumb issue. I think it was a decision issue. I think he was making poor decisions. I think, you know, the first interception he threw could be contributed to his eyes, bad eyes. The one right before the half, that's just, I mean, you got to be smarter than that. Throw it out of bounds, let's kick a field goal, get 3 points. And then the other one that he threw later in the game, it was just poor decision making. And you know, I think even the one that we snuck away with, the backwards pass that he threw, like that was like I don't understand the thought process behind him doing that. And so you know, I just think that he has to make better decisions. And I said this a few weeks ago that, you know, it's like you live by the gun, you got to die by the gun. You know, he's a gunslinger. He's going to go out there. He's going to, you know, force some throws, and sometimes we're going to win. Sometimes we're going to lose those. And when you're going against a great defense like Texas has, those things tend to stand out a little bit more. And all of this can be attributed to a lack of a run game. That just solves so many issues, puts so much pressure on the defense, and it just opens up so much. And so, you know, yes, he has to be better, but man, the entire offensive personnel, especially on that front line, whether it's a schematic thing, a technical thing, a want-to thing, like we've got to be able to run the football, period, point blank. If we can't run the football, it's going to be very difficult for us to move the football, for us to control the game, for us to have the big opportunities down the field. You know, if we can't run the ball and we just sit back and throw, defenses will pin their ears back and try to get after the quarterback. And so we have to find and establish some sort of run game.
And that's the thing. When you can't run it efficiently, there's a lot of guys back there in coverage.
Yeah.
And it becomes very challenging to pick the matchups you want to pick.
Yep.
Right? When you can run it efficiently and force more bodies to come into the box and come close to the line of scrimmage, things get a whole lot easier for a quarterback.
Yep.
When he's looking back there and he gets to decide what he wants to do in the passing game. So it's all connected. Yeah. Absolutely. Josh, and I'm with you. I actually thought when we spread Texas out, I watched the game again this morning. When we spread them out and got in particularly in 3-by-1 and got Anthony Hill out of the core, we did some pretty good things in the run game. Like that's where Torrey Blaylock's best runs of the game came. When we spread them out, created some natural space, got our tight ends away from having to block their edge guys, got them on linebackers instead. Some of that stuff looked really solid. And I'm hoping that we can build on that. Because I do think, and I've said it a lot on here throughout the year, I do think with what we have from a personnel standpoint right now, our best course of action running the football is spreading teams out. Trying to run it into light boxes. See, that's a 5-man box right there. 10 yards. So, look, 5-man box, another nice run. These are, if I know it's 2nd and 30 there, but it is. I don't think that was that funny.
I thought it was.
But it is. I think that's been our best course of action to get the run game going. And if you can run it into a light 5-man box and force them to bring another guy in it, say, hey, we're running it. We're going to spread you out and we're going to run it. We're going to make you do something about it. Whether that's bringing a safety down or bumping a backer back into the box, then you're back to having the numbers on your side in the passing game.
Yep.
So it's all connected, but I would like to see us spread teams out to run it. That's with what I have watched, in my opinion, that is when the run game has looked the best.
By the way, can I defend all of us that laughed at the 2nd and 30 comment? The idea that the best running play came on a time when you probably shouldn't have run the football at 2nd and 30.
No, that wasn't the best run. The two before that were better.
Yeah, but one of them.
Yes, I thought Mateer looked good like that. What I'm calling split zone bluff, where Cannett comes back across the formation and acts like he's going to block the DN, and then kind of just avoids him. And goes out there and blocks the alley defender. Like, that play looks good. But Mateer looked a little hesitant.
Yeah, that's what stood out to me, too. Yeah.
I think in the second half, I thought the first half he looked confident. I think the second half, I think his thumb may have played a part in that. Because there was one where he scrambled, and it's like he was hesitant to take off and go.
Which we have not seen.
Exactly.
If we've seen anything from that guy, it's like, all right,
exactly.
I'm
He's going and he's going to
go.
lay his body on the line. And so, in that regard, his thumb may have played a factor. But yeah, I mean, I think all of the we talk about this every week about the run game, and I agree. Like,
I
that's where we're getting the most success is with the very light box. So we've got to build on that. And we've said we wanted to protect Mateer, which we have to. But that's a huge part of what we do is the +1 run game. And so we've still got to keep that flowing. And I know that they want to protect him because his thumb, and they don't want to run him too much. But if that's what's going to get us the dub, we just got to go for it, man.
And we got to have this one in Columbia on Saturday. You look at what the rest of the schedule looks like, and South Carolina is, they're a good team. Don't be fooled by the record. They're a good team, and they may have the most talented player in college football on both sides of the ball on their team.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers is just terrifying to watch, and Dylan Stewart. I may have nightmares about Dylan Stewart this week.
Last year you said as a true freshman that if he was eligible for the draft, he's talented enough to where he could be the top pick.
Oh, man.
No question about it.
And that's his ceiling. The first pick of the draft is his ceiling.
What a ceiling, right?
And we saw Derek Simmons get banged up.
Yeah.
Never came back in the game. We watched him for what felt like 3 hours try to get back into the game.
He was
and
grinding.
just he couldn't go. Does he miraculously heal in 6 days to go play arguably the best edge rusher in college football? I don't know. So if it's got to be Luke Buklenko, that changes everything.
Yeah, that does.
And I mean from a game plan standpoint.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to put Buklenko on an island with Dylan Stewart. That's just it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, he's the most disruptive defensive player in the country. If you don't have a plan for him,
I don't know. Cassius Howell at A&M is looking legit.
He looks great. Yeah, he looks really
but
good.
We are going to have to game plan around that.
Yeah, you have to have a plan for him in the run game and the pass game. You have to have an account for him every single play, or else he will be disruptive.
He will wreck the
issues.
game.
He will.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah. He can, in a close, hard-fought conference game, which I expect this game to be, you cannot let Dylan Stewart wreck the game, and you have to game plan accordingly.
Yep.
And that quarterback,
oh my gosh,
there's talk that he might be the top pick in the draft. Let's talk about South Carolina.
His physical gifts are
unreal.
Woo.
Unreal. This segment's been brought to you by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save up to 25% today. More on the South Carolina Gamecocks next. You're inside the Huddle, live from Rudy's.
The Huddle is brought to you by Riverwind Casino. It's always a good time. OU Fan Shop. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. Sooner Kids Club. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Devon Energy.
Welcome back to Rudy's. It's the Air Comfort Solutions Huddle with Josh and Gabe. I'm Chris Plank. We are diving into South Carolina. Before the break, we talked obviously about their talented edge rusher and what has been a pretty good defense, but it's been a rocky start for South Carolina. They were projected as a preseason top 10, top 15 team. They got beat by Vanderbilt in a game where they lost Lenore Sellers to an injury. They're 3-3 right now, 1-3 in conference play. But as we take a look at our opponent preview, brought to you by One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, Gabe, you said it. They're still very talented. And I think before the show I heard you say, if there's one thing they do well, they look the part.
They look the part. Now, I feel good about the matchup. As terrifying as Lenore Sellers is, which he is terrifying. When you see this man's highlights, you're just going to go, wait, seriously? But they are struggling along the offensive line. They just fired their offensive line coach yesterday, in fact. And when you look at the body types of their offensive line, it's like they're playing 5 guards. They don't have a ton of length and athleticism on the O-line. They're physical. They play hard, but they don't have the typical tools you're used to seeing, especially at the tackle position for an SEC team. And, boys, what's the strength of our football team?
Defensive line, baby.
That D-line. So I feel good about that matchup. The one thing you cannot let happen if you're OU's defense is you cannot get run by. They got some guys at wide receiver that can absolutely go. Nick Harbor looks like a creative player on Madden. He's just a ridiculous-looking human being, and he can fly. They got multiple guys that can really, really run. Jacobs, number 19, he can fly. I mean, they got guys that Lenore Sellers just going to drop back, and he's going to rip it down the field and see if they can run by us and make some plays. I'd be surprised if now is the time they find their run game against us. They have not run it well at all throughout the season, and I can't imagine that they're going to miraculously figure things out against us. But Lenore Sellers is a dangerous, dangerous player, maybe most dangerous if he gets out of the pocket and you lose contain. We saw that happen a couple of times against Texas where Arch Manning got out of there and was able to make some plays down the field. Sellers can do it at an even higher level than what we saw from Arch.
What do you think of him so far, Josh?
Yeah, so I hadn't had a lot of chance to watch South Carolina, but based off what Gabe said, that's encouraging. I mean, if their offensive line is struggling, they just fired their offensive line coach. I really feel like our defense can take care of Sellers. Like, I don't think he'll be that. He's always a threat, no question about it.
No doubt.
But it's going to be hard for him to do anything without an offensive line. We've seen that ourselves. But I know defensively, like Gabe said, they got some dudes over there, man, and they stay stacked. And just like going into last year, my biggest concern was Stewart. Like he's probably the most impressive defensive player I've seen since, hear me out, Roy Williams. Like
high praise.
Like he's really, 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 really good. And last year they had the same type of dude on the opposite side. And so.
Well, I got bad news.
Yeah.
The other edge guy's really good too.
Okay. Well.
His name's Brian Thomas. I'm a big fan of his. He's a little shorter.
44,
46.
46.
Oh, yeah, he can. Yeah,
stouter,
I've seen. Yeah, he can play.
He can go speed to power. I think the matchup between him and Fasusi is going to be a fun one to watch because, like we mentioned earlier, you got a game plan for Dylan Stewart.
Are they right side, left side?
Typically, yeah.
Oh gosh, you can game plan for that.
You are going to typically see Dylan Stewart over our right tackle, and we'll find out more when the injury report comes out on Wednesday.
Right.
But to assume, I think the assumption right now is that Luke Buklenko is going to be the starting right tackle in this game.
Agreed.
And you got to help him out.
Gotcha.
So what I'm saying is the other guys, you may have to live on an island, especially that left side. So center to left tackle, I mean, Michaela, Ozida, Fasusi, those guys are going to have to live on an island a lot of times in pass protection. It's just how it's got to be when you've got such a disruptor at one edge spot going against your third string right tackle.
That was your One Oklahoma Sooner Sports opponent breakdown. One Oklahoma
Do you
powered
think
by
I scared everyone? I feel like I scared everyone.
One Oklahoma powered by Sooner Sports Properties, Fan Field, Athlete Focus. If you weren't scared after watching the way things started last year, I mean, just the disruptive.
Why do we have to talk about last year?
It's just saying, reminding everyone they're really good.
We've all erased that from our memory, and here you are bringing it up.
My bad. This segment's been brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino is always a good time. All right, when we come back, time for a little What's Your Beef and a look around college football after a wild scenario that took place up in Penn State. You're inside the Huddle, presented by Air Comfort Solutions.
The Huddle is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Trails Golf Club of Norman, where members become family. Inquire today at trailsgolf.com. OU's 2025 football games are available on Ritmo 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on these stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show.
Welcome back to Rudy's. You are inside the Huddle, presented by Air Comfort Solutions. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. All right, guys, it is time for my favorite segment of this show. It's called What's Your Beef, and it's brought to you by Didier Ranch. Now, I volunteered a What's Your Beef.
I'm excited. This is a first.
Right.
What's Your Beef? Since when does this become clapping? Now, if you missed it, during the Georgia game against Auburn on Saturday night, Kirby Smart was calling a timeout. Problem, he didn't have any timeouts. But somehow he sold the official that he wasn't calling a timeout, he was merely clapping. This brings an even bigger issue. I thought our officiating issues were in the past when we moved on from the Big 12, but boys, SEC's got a boatload of officiating problems, and it was on display at Auburn on Saturday.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
There was nothing more egregious. And, was Jackson Arnold, was it a touchdown, was it not?
Yeah.
I don't really care. The missed block in the back call on Taylor Wine on the punt return touchdown.
Was terrible.
Yeah,
Yep.
There's two other borderline blocks on that. I think it's Taylor Heim. I think the other one's Reggie Powers. Teddy and I went through it today. They're clean. Those are clean. Those are good technique. That is good execution from Texas. But the one on Taylor Wine is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight down the middle of his numbers.
I mean, the guy hits him right in between the fours in his back.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't get easier than that. How you miss that is insane to me. Now, our offense needed to play better if we wanted to win the game. There's that too.
Give all the disclaimers.
But that doesn't change the fact that was an egregious missed call.
We moved on from that, Gabe.
No, clearly I have. Clearly I have.
I'll say this on What's Your Beef. Like, it's one thing for the refs to I don't know. Like, did they just listen to him explaining himself to say, no, I was actually clapping? But for the lack of integrity on Kirby Smart's part.
He doubled down on the presser.
Oh, he really did. Too. He's like, nah, I was clapping. We're like, we saw you, dude.
Like he's running down the sideline like this.
Did you see the SEC
Who claps
shorts?
like?
Yeah.
I did not call timeout.
What did the kids say? You got caught in 4K. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Like, that's the beef I take. Is like, bro,
the
have
SEC
some integrity,
shorts had the guy
man.
clapping like this.
Yeah.
Those things. It stinks when they make fun of OU and those things, but man, those guys do a good job. That's fantastic.
That's What's Your Beef, presented by Didier Ranch Premium. Ranch-raised beef can be shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. Visit DidierRanch.com. That's DIDIER Ranch.com to order. Didier Ranch, tradition tastes better. And real quick, guys, in our final couple minutes, we did have a couple major developments in college football this week. Trent Dilfer got fired at UAB, and then James Franklin got let go at Penn State. I laid it out. I mean, they were a late interception away from going to the national championship game in college football last year. They led Oregon in overtime 3 weeks ago, and now their coach is fired. You said it, man. The margins are so slim.
They're preseason number one.
Yeah, that's
true.
I mean, and I think the expectations of what this year was supposed to be for them to lose those 3 games. It's really the last 2, though.
Yeah, absolutely. The UCLA Northwestern games.
Those were very, very tough. But man,
UCLA goes on to the playoffs because they got them a little streak.
Nico looks.
He looks great.
If they
might be
continue
the best
on
country right now.
to go into the playoffs, like was that a mistake?
I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see, because what do they owe them? $50 million, $49 million? And I love how people people break down buyouts now. Like, oh, well, it's actually like it's a line item thing.
No, it's $49 million.
$49 million.
Oh, there's an offset. If he gets into broadcasting, if I'm James Franklin, I'm taking a job
Sitting at home.
No, I'm taking a job at Big Noon or College Game Day. You want to stay relevant. You want to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you pay me $1.
Well, you know what's going to happen.
Penn State will take care of the rest.
I guess Saban isn't in there anymore, but he would go to Saban University like everybody else does.
Yep.
And sit on the staff for a year, still getting his paycheck from Penn State, and find another job next year.
Lane Kiffin did it. Butch Jones did it. A laundry list of guys who went through the Lane Kiffin. I think Coach Mike Stoops went out to Alabama and did it for a time. Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. But it was shocking, man. I mean, let me rephrase that. It wasn't surprising that he got fired. It was shocking to hear that they, in an era whenever $20 million is a real number for rev share. I mean, that's really a hit that an athletic department takes. NIL is real. Yep. And yet you're like, all right, we got to get him out of here 6 games early. Here's $49 million.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Only time will tell if that was a good decision for Penn State. What do you think?
And Drew Aller is now out for the season, too.
Yeah, that was a bummer. That did not look good.
Meanwhile, both Prebulas, and Missouri got beat, but they gave Alabama all they could handle.
Missouri's a good football team. The way that game went didn't change how I felt by about either of those teams. I think both of those teams are a real contender in the SEC, and both are college football playoff caliber teams.
I think that running back with Missouri is top 3 in the country.
He's legit.
Bama held him in check. What do you have, 52 yards, something like that?
Nation's leading rusher.
But Alabama, that offense, man, they are playing some good football. There is no one in college football playing better than Ty Simpson right now.
Not one person.
This segment has been brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Brent Venables coming up in moments. We got one more segment left inside the Huddle. Stick around.
The Huddle is brought to you by Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either Sirius XM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free.
All right, final segment for the Huddle brought to you by the Trails Golf Club in Norman, where members become family. Inquire and join today at trailsgolf.com. By the way, you said you ate your way through the pain. What was the go-to?
Well, There was a burger and fries involved and an entire pizza. I'm not proud of it,
I know.
but that is how I deal with disappointment. I absolutely stuff my face with things that shorten the number of days that I'll be alive on this earth. That's just how I do it, man. And Teddy and I stopped on the way home, too. We got burgers and fries, and we were just complaining about the game. No free shout-outs on here.
It was from Rudy's. It was from Rudy's.
There you go.
Hey.
But it was so we had that coping session, and then the next day.
You had a podcast coping session.
I had a personal session. So, but on to South Carolina.
On to South Carolina. All right.
We're good here.
We got about a minute and a half left. Josh, first, biggest key for you to turn this thing around Saturday against South Carolina?
Take care of the ball on offense. Allow our defense to put and special teams has to be better. But just allow our defense to play and put them behind the sticks. And it really is going to be a matter of field position for us in every way. If we can win the field position game, which includes not turning the ball over, which includes playing great special teams, pinning them deep, making them drive the entire field, offense, being in good position to start drives, we'll win the game.
John Mateer's got to play well.
Yep.
Bottom line, I feel like I know what I'm going to get from this defense. It's unrealistic to expect our defense to go through this gauntlet and just shut all these teams out.
Yeah.
That's not how football works. You have to get something from your offense, and that starts with John Mateer. He has to play at a really high level. There's a lot of pressure on him to do so, but that's just life as QB1 at the University of Oklahoma. He's more than capable of doing it, but he's got to make great decisions and quick decisions in this game because they got a couple guys that can absolutely get it off the edge.
Yeah, they're very impressive. Great job, Gabe. Good job, Josh.
Yeah,
we'll see you guys next Monday night here for the Huddle. Stick around. Brent Venables coming up next, live from here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Always.
Boomer Sooner, everybody.
When we lose.
Even when we lose. In win or defeat.
Live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, the Air Comfort Solutions OU Huddle has been presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by Walden Cleaners. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.